Hi, welcome back. My name is Michelle and you're watching Michelle's Life. Today is my first June TBR check-in. This is a little weird because I only had one last month, so I didn't get to talk about a couple of those books. And I didn't stick to my TBR very well so far, other than one book for June. But it is the beginning of June. So anyway, let's check out what my TBR for the month was. Alright, so that's a lot of gray boxes, but I have read If I Was Your Girl by Meredith Rousseau, which I do have a full review for coming out on Friday. So keep your eyes open for that because I'm actually kind of proud of it. It's not the greatest, but it's also not the worst. So I've got that going for me. If I Was Your Girl is a trans YA story written by a trans woman. It features our main protagonist, Amanda, as she transitions to a new school and just the fear and just the fear and hesitation that she has to approach life with due to her becoming her true self. And we get to explore that world and those apprehensions with her, and it was just a beautiful debut novel that I really recommend you go out and read. Also, I also recommend you go watch my full review. I did give it 5 out of 5 stars. I also want to catch you guys up on Americana. I did read about 100 more pages of that book and I am loving it, but for some reason I don't keep going to reach for it. Instead I pick up something else, but I like to read it in short bursts. I like the perspective that it offers of a foreigner coming to the United States and what that means to be a black foreigner and how they identify as non-African American, and the differences and the different stereotypes that are thrust upon them from the community and from other black people, whether they be foreigners from their same country or whether they be African Americans. And it's just a really interesting dichotomy that the book offers, and I really like her writing style. The book is definitely more so an investigation than it is like plot driven. It's more character driven and it's more about discussion of what it means to be a foreigner and come to America, especially a black foreigner. So it's really great and I definitely recommend it. It's just I haven't finished it yet. I did read 2 books that were not on my May TBR or my June TBR. The first of those was More Happy Than Not by Adam Silvera, and I posted a review for that last Friday, so I'll link that down below. My friend Jody messaged me and said, holy cow, you need to read More Happy Than Not right now. And I dropped everything, including my buddy read with Raoul over at Latin Lecture, and picked it up. And that was a big mistake because that book was so good that I got into a massive book hangover and I was unable to accomplish my buddy read with Raoul. I was supposed to be reading A Great and Terrible Beauty with Raoul, but I just couldn't get into it. It's been a while since I've read a fantasy story, and I don't know, it felt like things that I've read before, so I couldn't really get into it. I gave it about 75 pages and then I quit. He really enjoyed it though, and he wound up giving it 5 out of 5 stars, so I'll link his wrap-up where he talked about that down below if you want to go check out his review of it, but I unfortunately did not finish it. More Happy Than Not though was definitely a 5 out of 5 star book for me. It was phenomenal and I loved that it depicted a lower class setting rather than the middle to upper class that most YA novels focus on. I was able to relate to Erin so much, and I don't know if I've found a character that I related to more since starting book 2, or since really I started reading after my daughter's birth. I haven't found a character that I can relate to as much as I did with Erin, and I'm so appreciative of that. And Adam Silvera is such a wonderful person, and I'm so glad that I was able to meet him at SIA, and I definitely recommend you go read his book, and there are more books of his coming out in the near future, and I'm so excited. I sent my first ARC request, and we'll see how it goes. The other book that was not on my TBR was Sweet Evil by Wendy Higgins. And this book I picked up because I wanted to get out of my reading slump. I knew that it would be kind of like cheesy and quick and addictive, and so I picked that up after reading More Happy Than Not, and I did finish it in like 2 days. It was very addictive, and I did go into it thinking that I wouldn't like it and I would wind up just rating it a 3-star book, but I wound up really enjoying it. I really enjoyed the inventiveness of the story. So if you don't know, Sweet Evil is about the seven deadly sins, and the 7 deadly sins are represented by humans that are demons inheriting humans' bodies, and then they have offspring called Nephilim, and the Nephilim are supposed to work for their parents. Our main character is oblivious. She was adopted, and she has weird abilities, and she is able to remember her infancy as well as being in the womb, which is weird, but you're told that pretty early on, so I don't think that's a spoiler. But anyway, we meet a boy, and his father is the Duke of Lust. So that's interesting. And the sexual tension in this book was so high, but I absolutely loved it. It was so good. Anyway, and for a first book, I was okay with the idea of I need to treat the woman badly because otherwise she could get hurt. And I was okay with that. I hadn't read that trope in a long time, and so I wound up giving the book 4 stars, but I started the second book and I couldn't deal with that trope any longer. I don't think I gave it a fair enough chance. I didn't read it for long enough, so maybe I'll pick it back up in the future, but for now I'm letting that one rest. But I felt this is the best comparison for that book. It was Amy and Roger's Epic Detour meets The Mortal Instruments. So if you like those 2 books, I recommend Sweet Evil. Currently, I am reading Unicorn Tracks by Julia Embers because this week that this video is going up is week 2 of her reading challenge, and the category that I chose to read from is lesbian speculative. And what that means is a science fiction or fantasy book that has a main character that is a lesbian. So she is really, really cool, and I've enjoyed talking to her over on Twitter, and I definitely want to check out her book, even though for some reason I thought it was a graphic novel. It's not. I requested it at my library through Overdrive, and the next day they emailed me saying they had it, and I was like, what? So that was really cool. I probably will wind up buying it because that cover is gorgeous. So the first week was a trans story, and so I read If I Was Your Girl, and then this week is a lesbian speculative, and I'm really enjoying it so far. I'm about 15 or 16% through, so not very far. I think the story is only like 150 pages or something. It's a very short book. It's about a safari guide, and in the safari there are mythical creatures, but in the safari they're real, and so you have things like chimera, I don't know if that's pronounced right, but go with me. And you also have unicorns and other mythical creatures. So our tour guide is the main POV, and guest comes with his daughter, and they're naturalists, and they want to research and see the unicorns. It's like their life goal or their life study, and it's really interesting so far. Sometimes I have a hard time getting into a world where it's like already established. I usually like the world where it's like our world and then it kind of evolves. So when I was in the safari in the beginning of this book, and then we just started seeing like crazy creatures that I've never heard of, it threw me a little bit, but I'm getting there, and I'm really enjoying her writing style. So, and I like that the romance is kind of slow. I'll just tell you that I'm enjoying it so far. And the other book that I am currently reading is In the Name of the Wind by Patrick Rothfuss. Everyone commented in my TBR video about how much they love this book, and I was pressured by BookTube to get it because everyone and their mother loves it, and so I did get it for Mother's Day, and I'm I think 120 pages in so far, and I am enjoying it. It hasn't like grabbed me yet. I like the beginning of the story where we meet Quoth, I think is how you pronounce his name. He's an innkeeper and very quiet. bar that he runs, and he kind of just listens to town gossip, and it sounds like he's just trying to live out his life. And then one day he's out in the woods doing something that I won't talk about, and a chronicler comes by, and he winds up getting injured, and Quoth takes him back to the inn and winds up negotiating, and the chronicler winds up staying for longer than he should to chronicle Quoth's notorious life. I like Quoth as a character so far, and I like that we're seeing his childhood and how he became who he is, and it's good. I just haven't read a fantasy, like I said, in a long time, so I'm having a bit of a hard time with it. I've read so much hard-hitting contemporary and literary fiction lately that it's difficult for me, but I think I'm gonna like it, so there's that. Anyway, that's it for this TBR wrap-up so far, and I'm hoping... I think I can get to my other books this month as well. We'll see. But thank you so much for watching, liking, subscribing, commenting. I love you all, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.